Adam.
RK.
It's great to have it. This is the first time we've ever had someone on the show who has had their name chanted in a stadium.
Let's go. Yeah, I'm coming. My confidence is so high. I'm ready to lose some money.
Oh, let's go.
I'm
better.
Way too overconfident.
Betting was the great equalizer. It really humbles you.
So true.
I think this is also our second biggest show among Serbian listeners.
Really?
Yeah, because we put Nikola Jokic in the headline all the time.
They get excited. They want to hear about these bets.
They're like, oh, let's see what these clowns have to say about it. How would you
saying it's not a big deal to get your name chanted.
Oh.
Really? Austin's never had his name chanted. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed he's never had it changed by an entire arena.
We had Austin Rivers chanted in the bar once.
That's true. We did have that one.
Entire arena? Was it everybody or just like the take people?
Hey, man, I couldn't tell.
There were dozens.
There were dozens of them.
Adam, how would you describe yourself as a bettor?
I would say cautious.
Oh.
I would say I bet very small amounts.
Okay.
And I always feel like I'm going to lose.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I think it's bad. Like, all the great gamblers I know, yourself included,
oh, thanks.
Very confident. Very
Yes.
confident. You go into it just like, I can't lose. This parlay, it's just like they're all winners. And I sit and I go, I feel like they're all losers.
But that's just kind of how you are now. Like, you'll create, like, some of the best content I've ever seen, and I'll be like, dude, that was amazing. And you'll be like, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I wasn't sure. I couldn't tell in the moment.
It's true, man. You got to be like a hypercritic. I see all the little tiny flaws.
That's, the yin and yang.
I guess it works.
All right. Real quick to update people on our all underdog strategy. Hopefully everyone was rolling with that. Yeah, I know you weren't.
No. I know. I'm saying there's some favorites, though, that I made. That strategy worked very well early on in the tournament.
It's still working well.
Really?
So it was a positive weekend for us.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, me and Andre decided to bet on every underdog in the tournament blindly. Don't even think about it. Just click them all and bet it. Best idea I've ever had. As of yesterday, when we went 0-2 with the underdogs, we are plus 14 units across the tournament. Saturday was a huge day because there was 2 big upsets, and then Sunday sucked, 2 no upset. But we are guaranteed positive double-digit units because there's only 3 games left, so the most we can lose is 3 more bets.
Right.
So it was great.
That's incredible. I mean, how much of this was just the Peacocks?
The Peacocks carried just about everything. In fact, had you only bet on the Peacocks, you would want a lot more money.
That's true.
But we did it today, so it was 16 plus 5, 21 plus 6.5. So 27.5 units was just Peacocks wins.
That's insane, man.
Love them. It kind of sucks that they went down in such a fiery mess yesterday. But okay, let's get to your big 3. You get to go first as the guest on the show. Give the people impart your knowledge upon them.
So here's the thing about the NBA right now that people don't realize.
Okay.
It's kind of the easiest to predict that it is all year. Because you're in the zone where the teams that need to win, they're focused, they're locked in. There's no like, oh, they were out late last night at the club. And the teams that need to lose, definitely out at the club. Their coach even told them, like, go out to the club tonight. You don't need to be too focused tomorrow.
We've got a company tab there. Just say it's on the Pelicans.
1,000%. But my first bet actually has nothing to do with that. Even though the Toronto Raptors, they're my pick against the Boston Celtics. They're hosting the Boston Celtics. Both teams could use the win. Boston's trying to get that 1 seed. The Raptors trying to avoid the play-in. So both of these teams highly motivated. But here's the thing. We got the Robert Williams news today. This Celtics team's been murdering everybody. Yes. Robert Williams might be out for the year.
Oh, no.
A crushing blow to Celtics fans. But the Raptors are also really good. They're sneaky, having a great little stretch here. So I look at this one, and I think it's a good team that has an emotional letdown. The Celtics are a good team with an emotional letdown, but also Robert Williams is just an important player. He's good for them. So to me, I'm taking the Raptors. I don't think the book's adjusted yet.
Wait, are they actually -8?
Isn't that crazy? Well, I mean, first of all, Celtics have been winning every game by 25 points.
Okay. So no Horford, no Jaylen Brown, no Jason Tatum, no Robert Williams.
It's going to be a smackdown. Is
that their starting 5?
It's an emotional letdown. It's going to be Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to. It's not going to work out.
He's not exactly a guy who can carry the offense.
Exactly. My next one, same thing. Bulls. I'm taking another favorite here. The Bulls, have the money line, but this is one of those games where they're going against the Knicks. That minus 160 is like judging these teams based on how they would operate in a vacuum. But again, the Knicks season's up in flames. Technically, if they go undefeated, they could still make the play-in if the teams above them lose every game. But effectively, they're eliminated from getting in. And meanwhile, the Bulls, like the Raptors, they see this line for the Raptors, and they think, we got to get in on this too. Like, we got to keep winning to avoid the play-in. So this is a highly motivated Bulls team that has not been winning, but I think they win big tonight.
Okay, like this. And then your last one.
I love this one. Portland sucks.
Yes.
And I enjoy saying that. Portland absolutely sucks. The Thunder also not very good and trying to lose right now. They're tanking. Portland just played Houston twice.
Let me just stop you. Did you feel any tank energy at the end of the game the other night? Like, they got it close to the Nuggets, and they're like, all right, that was fun. Let's just let them have it.
It's all about how teams – this is the thing. Players are going to try to win. They just can't turn that off. But coaches can be like, hey, we're not going to double the post.
Right.
Hey, we're going to high trap, so you have to throw it to Jokic. So, yes, there was a little bit of that going on. But here's the thing. Portland is really, really bad, and just I don't think they can score, even against a team that is trying to allow the other team to score. They've scored, I think, 280 points over their last 3 games, meaning averaging under 100. I'm taking the under on this one. Both teams trying to lose, and it could get really silly in some of these quarters.
Wow, that's awesome. Sean G in the comments here says in on the Nuggets to win the division at plus 700, and right now you can still get them at plus 500. Am I crazy to think they can easily make up one game with their easy schedule left?
He's only crazy in the easily part. Is he saying it could happen? Yes. And maybe plus 500 is about what I expect there. But did you not just see the Nuggets eke by a win against Crutchy?
Was that his name?
Lindy Waters? These guys out here, the Nuggets just eked one by.
Lindy Waters definitely sounds like a 1979 blues artist.
It definitely does. Here's the other thing, though, about the division that's interesting. After the game, Nuggets have lost some games, but there hasn't been any name calling. This is Utah Jazz. After this last game, Donovan Mitchell threw a little, the teammates that showed up tonight, meaning Rudy Gobert, who took a rest day, there's just these little barb throws. So the vibes are really bad there. It's just, I'm not sure the Nuggets are actually good. I'm not sure they're great.
Yeah. So they're 1 game back, yeah? How many games left?
1 game back, but they do not have the tiebreaker.
Okay, so
or is it
technically 2 games back.
Yeah.
They don't have the tiebreaker. And how many games remain?
7.
Ooh.
And they are, they're just the 1 game back. So they would have to basically Denver's going to have to run the table. They would do it. If Denver runs the table, then they'll win the division. But
they have a pretty easy schedule. And as Sean points out, Jazz still have Suns, Warriors, and Grizzlies on the schedule.
They actually have I think the toughest road of all of them. So I think it could be close. It's those damn tiebreakers. And by the way, the NBA this year, 4 times you play your division. First of all those games happened in the first 2/3 of the season, which was really dumb. You should always space those out just to get a better sample size. Right. And then 3 of them were on second night of a back-to-back for Denver. Complete and total BS that the Nuggets might miss the play-in this year and not win the division because of that stupid schedule.
That is really annoying. The NFL does it right. Everyone finishes with the division game.
Ooh, that is smart.
It just makes all the intrigue, all the playoff.
The Nuggets have the Lakers twice in the last 4 games. The Lakers have sucked all year. They might get Anthony Davis back this week, just in time. It's the dumbest thing ever.
Damn. Okay, I kind of like that bet. I might have to get in on that. Plus 500 feels pretty nice to make up 1.5 games.
It would be the funniest way to end the season with the Nuggets winning the division.
I always forget that the NBA even has divisions.
That doesn't
never
make sense.
Does the division matter less than in the NBA.
I'm actually holding out hope. If they win the division and somehow that would probably place them all the way up in the 5 seed, it would really make all of these narratives about you can't win if you're a 6 seed. It would make them hilarious because probably one of Philly or Milwaukee will be a 4 or 5. It would be a really funny end of the year.
It sounds great. All right, let's get to mine. Our Nuggets guy came on and gave no Nuggets picks, so I'm going to have to get your takes on my Nuggets pick. My favorite thing you said, though, is that the NBA has become predictable. Andre and I have a big thing on, never take an NBA spread or money line in the middle of the season on Tuesday night
That's
when
true.
you just have no idea. Yeah. We're finally in the zone where, wins and losses really matter. So this is probably the first time I've given out a Nuggets money line in months at least.
Man.
So Nuggets minus 160. I like it.
They're favored tonight, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
By 3.5.
Man, that's a tough one. Do you remember? So the last game is the one Jokic took 34 shots. I think it's a career high in field goal attempts. It was the weirdest game ever. You go back and look at that one. Facu played 33 minutes. Vlatko Čančar started. It was a really, really weird one. So it's hard to get history on this. whatever. Nuggets are desperate. Jokic in desperation mode usually does pretty well.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Is okay. Look, they have to win, so they're just going to. I'm really big on Bones props right now. Unfortunately, they bumped up his threes to over 2.5 instead of over 1.5.
So tough.
The 11.5 here is actually down from 13.5 last game, which he missed.
Right.
We always say, like, if you're gonna lose a bet, at least they lower the number a little bit. So that's what we got here. I think he scored 9 the other night. Maybe he did get to 11 eventually. I can't remember. But 11.5, I feel like he clears this. And then this is the one of the 3 that I'm least confident in. It's Jokic over 27.5 points. But like you just mentioned, last time they played, he was putting the rock up.
Right.
So I think, again, you get Jokic desperation mode. He manifests that in a couple different ways. One is on the boards.
Yep.
And then 2, a lot of times, unless his teammates are really finishing, he's going to go and put shots up.
I think you're right. It's weird because the last game was such an outlier for Jokic that I almost throw it completely away. Yeah. But this one is just more about the desperation. I love you're right about the rebounds. That's where it most manifests itself. But 27.5 points, like, it's so easy for Jokic to get there. I forgot. You know what's? You talk about Bones. I'm thinking about who's going to guard him. Isaiah Thomas is in that second unit. Old IT is playing for this Hornets team. He can't guard anybody.
I was going to say, like, Austin, like, who's going to get there against him?
I know that. Yeah, well, it could be because Kelly Oubre Jr. is a good defender, so he's going to have to occupy one of those guys. But the other one should absolutely eat. And then also you can just switch. You can screen to get IT switched out there. And then
IT on Bones is like,
yeah,
like he should
murder it. He should just shoot over him. He should get right past him. And then you have Montrezl Harrell as your backup center, basically. DeMarcus Cousins has 100 pounds on him. So that second unit might be where the battle is tonight.
Montrezl Harrell, kind of a little like fall from grace.
Who could have seen this one coming? I may or may not have been predicting this for several years now.
Okay, before we move on to making an SGP on the Nuggets with Adam, I got to get your feelings. I have 2 different Jokic MVP slips in my open bets. What's your current feeling on it?
So here's the thing. It's going to come down to narrative. Because I think every voter is feeling the same pressure of they don't want to be the guy that screws this up. Because everybody's kind of saying, like, hey, there's 3 guys you could bet for. Where do we go? I think it's going to come down.
Giannis?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, the third is Embiid, in my opinion. Giannis is the second. But but here we go. The Bucks might be the 1 seed. If that happens, I think that I think Giannis is going to see a surprising number of late votes come in and say, hey, man, it was the 1 seed. All these guys have been good, but they're the 1 seed.
Right.
The 76ers have a chance of being the 1 seed. I don't think it will be them, but they have a chance of being. If that's the case, then I think Embiid is going to win it. If neither of those 2 do, and especially if they're not the 2 seed, if they come in 3-4, 3-5, something like that, then I think Jokic is going to get it so long as he stays in the 6. So as long as the Nuggets stay in the 6th or higher, I think the odds are very good for Jokic, so long as none of them take the 1.
2-6 is a tough. I feel like it might be a little tough to overcome, but the wins are so close, right? Like, what's the difference between Nuggets and Bucks and Sixers wins right now?
Like 2 wins. Yeah. I think it's 2 wins. So that's why I don't think it matters unless you say the top seed, because that's going to become so important. If you are the 1 seed, it's just a round number. It's just this thing where it's like, yeah, but they were the 1 seed.
Right,
like, okay, we get it.
Yeah, this conversation has gotten like more toxic than I've ever seen it.
It's so dumb.
And it's so funny because no one on either side like has any good information on the other ones. Like, as we know, all these guys are super awesome.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to make your argument for your guy by trying to put down the other guy. Like, people, obviously brought up the Jokic plus-minus thing, and then it's like, okay, there's a counter-argument. He has a better plus-minus over the season. It's like everyone has an argument and a counter-argument. In the end, it's just going to come down to, like you said, narrative. When does the next straw poll come out? Because I feel like that's going to shift the DraftKings odds a lot.
It's funny because it really does, and I think I submitted my answers for it over the weekend, so they should be in...
Site Flex, invited to the straw poll.
So that should come out, I think, sometime early this week. And the crazy thing, tomorrow, by the way, Bucks 76ers play each other. That's another big narrative game. Should Giannis participate in that game?
Right. It's kind of a lose-lose for Jokic unless they both have bad games.
Yeah. It still doesn't matter because one team is going to like sort of take control of their own destiny in the Eastern Conference. So it'll be like if the 76ers win, your first take is going to be, are the 76ers the best team in the East? Are they the 1 seed? So
okay, all right. Well, if you're going to get in on that Jokic, I would guess now if you're trying to get a last minute bet on it, I think before that straw poll comes out might be better.
You think so? I'm wondering how the straw poll is going to go. I will say this. When I talk to a lot of these analysts, a lot of them are like, think it's Jokic, but afraid to bet him. They're afraid to say him. It's a very interesting situation where they're almost like, I think it's Jokic, but I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I'm afraid to be that guy.
They need to do like heads up 7-Up. Everyone can't see what anyone else does.
So true.
Before they choose. All right, make sure you get in on all this over at DraftKings Sportsbook, where you got 3 games left. So we've been pushing this the whole tournament. Bet 5, win 200 in free bets on any NCAA tournament team. If you get it right, you had a lot of easy wins. You've only made it harder on yourself by waiting, but that's okay. I don't know. I think Kansas is the safest bet of all the teams to go to the championship.
I don't know.
What?
Villanova can shoot, though.
I know, and they're really well coached, and they do all that stuff right. I just think Kansas has a huge talent advantage over them. We'll see, though. Duke, North Carolina is obviously going to get all the fanfare. I think that's going to be a really close game. Either way, pick one team. If you get it right, you get $200 in free bets off just your $5 bet. You can also get a sign-up bonus up to $1,000 when you use the code DNVR at sign-up. Of course, you must be 21 or older, Colorado only. Bonus comprised of a first deposit bonus and a first bet match, each up to $500. Deposit bonus requires a 25x playthrough and restrictions to apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Sean in the comments asked what my odds are on Jokic, so I'm trying to see that, but it's not working.
For the MVP?
For my MVP. I got 2 different ones because we got like a big profit boost one night, and I was like, I'm throwing that back on Jokic for MVP. So I have him one at plus 1,500 and one at plus 1,875.
It's good value, man.
Yeah, if that hits, I'll basically be like anything I've ever lost betting ever will just be replenished.
Jokic has 2 big games coming up. He has the Minnesota game, which is going to be a spotlight, everybody paying attention. And then they have a game on ABC against the Lakers. Anthony Davis might play in that one. Like 2 big performances there will be very memorable for voters.
And then the last game of the year is against Minnesota, isn't it?
The last game's against the Lakers again.
Oh,
okay. They play both. So we'll see.
Why would he come back right now?
Well, they want him in the play-in. I mean, they're a play-in team now, and they want to be dangerous there, which I think they could be.
They only have one game out of missing the entire play.
Isn't that the craziest of the Spurs? The Nuggets even play the Spurs too. Like there could be a little gamesmanship there. You beat the Lakers and lose to the Spurs. So you're like, hey man, sorry. What do we do?
What can you do? It happens. I don't. So last night I'm watching SportsCenter and they bring up like the play-in bracket, and these teams are like 31 and 40, and I'm just like, these teams have no business being in anything.
I do love the play-in, but just because it's kept all of these games meaningful. Like we're sitting here sweating out the Nuggets' last 7 games, even though you wouldn't usually, because it'd just be seeding. 6 or 7 doesn't matter. But here you are playing or not playing, so you're sweating it. But the flip side of that is, like the teams at the bottom here, New Orleans, like the Spurs. Come on, man.
They have no business being in any sort of play-in or anything. And
even the Lakers have no business. Like they have no. LeBron complained about the play-in, like, oh, it's unfair. Here they are getting preferential treatment. It's so funny because they do not deserve the playoffs.
Yeah, and then I guess the counter argument would be like that Suns run in the bubble is like that like springboarded them.
Yeah.
So it's like, it can be like it's like the NIT in college. Like if you have a great NIT, then maybe the next year you make the tournament.
I love this for LeBron in his 18th year. It's like, hey man, this could be a great springboard. You can build on this, man.
All right, let's jump in here and make a Nuggets SGP.
Oh, I love it.
That everyone can get behind. You can bring this to the Nuggets pregame show right after this. By the way, 4:30 right today.
Yeah.
4:30 Nuggets pregame show. Dev's in the house. Talk a little Nuggets there as well. But let's put together our Nuggets SGP. I'm tailing you on everything.
Oh wow! So I have to open it up. Sorry, I just got
You do have to.
I got a very interesting text. We got our Nuggets pregame show here shortly. And may have interesting things to say. We'll find out here.
Wow, okay. You want to tease that a little more?
No, that's it.
Okay, all right.
That's it. All right.
Yeah, you got to. Now I have to stay and watch.
You know, this Isaiah Thomas piece is really interesting because it's got me thinking about like who's going to end up putting up points, who's going to end up getting some buckets here. I'm actually going to go. I think. Do we have any? No, we don't have an Austin Rivers straight points on this one. I'm looking for points. Austin Rivers doesn't pick up. All right, why don't we just go with Bones Highland? It moved up to 12.5.
Wait, well, we're going SGP mode, so you can go all the way down to 9.5 if you want.
Why don't we do that? And I think I'm going to take DeMarcus Cousins too. Like DeMarcus Cousins with his points, he really should be dominant inside. Do we have boogie points on here?
I'll find it if we do.
Man, I don't think we do, which is a bummer because I think he's the one that's going to eat the most.
Someone said, is there a lineup update that might have happened that messed up these lines?
Maybe.
Okay. Jeff Green, Cody Martin, Aaron Gordon.
Man, Montrezl Harrell points. I almost want to take an under on these. Can you take those?
Can do that. I like this. This is great. What do you want?
Montrezl Harrell's points over under. Can I go? Man, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'll have to go over to rebounds instead. Let me see if I can find. Do we have rebounds for any of our bigs? This is crazy. I'm telling you, DraftKings Sportsbook, they see what's about to happen. It actually makes me more encouraged by my bet that they are so worried about DeMarcus Cousins. They don't have him on here. All right, we'll go to Bones Highland. I'm going to take Bones Highland 3-pointers made. I'm just going to take one because I think that's going to happen.
That's good. So we're doubled up on Bones here.
So got doubled up on Bones. I'm going to go over to rebounds, and I'm going to take Jokic's rebounds here. They've got 10.5, 11.5, 12.5. Why don't we go to 11.5? I think this is a monster rebounding game. So we'll go ahead and put that in here. One of my favorite ones to do, I go over to game props or other player props. Where do I get steals in?
That would be player props.
Yeah, player props. I'm going to go over to Jokic steals because I think this is a game he actually gets some steals in. I'm going to go 1+ because I think he gets that. That gets us to -105.
I'm already at -105.
That's what I'm saying.
Before that.
You were?
Yeah.
What's your third? I have 3 legs.
Oh, I have 4 legs. I have Bones over 9.5 points, Bones 1-3.
I didn't take the Bones points, but I'll do it. I'll do it here. I'll add Bones.
Jokic 11.5 rebounds and Jokic 1 steal. So we're at +150.
+150.
Do you like a Jokic block?
No.
Okay.
I don't like that. I'm trying to think of who else is going to be able to go off here. It's that second unit that I think has a chance because that backcourt they have is terrible. That front court they have is terrible too. JaMychal Green. Do we have JaMychal Green rebounds?
No, we have.
I'm telling you, they see it. They're too afraid. They're like, we can't put the second unit's rebounds on the board.
We've got Jeff Green.
Aaron Gordon has been scoring a little bit lately, but I always hate betting Aaron Gordon
because he misses easy ones.
here's what I'm going to do. Aaron Gordon, 13.5 points just to sweeten this and get it all the way up to 265. It's by far it's the one I'm most afraid of. Okay. I feel really good about Bones hitting a 3. I feel really good about Jokic getting 11.5 rebounds. That one feels like a lock. 1 steal for Jokic. He gets it most games. I mean, that's like 75% of the time, maybe more. Bones, 9.5, I feel good about. Aaron Gordon, 13.5. He's either going to get like 16, 17, or 9. Monte's always solid, but I'm not going to go for him here. He's got some tough assignments tonight.
I'm going to pitch one to you. This is something that I always like, especially in games where the Nuggets are favored. And Jokic usually plays most, if not all, of the first quarter. I just like to take the Nuggets to win the first quarter.
That's an interesting one. I could see that one. The first quarter definitely is like a focus quarter. Right. I'll throw that one on there.
All right, that gets us +400.
Just to win it, just a straight money line?
Yep, straight money line.
All righty. That gets us to +400? All righty.
Feels like a good bet.
I like it.
I'll admit I'm also worried about Aaron Gordon.
That's the one. But you know what? Here's what I'll say. It's playoff time. We talk about getting serious.
Yeah.
He's played a lot more serious the last 2 or 3 games. So if he plays serious again tonight, I think he gets those numbers.
Yep. I just don't like the in the lane fadeaway.
Not a big fan of that one myself. I'm a big fan of the in the lane dunk on people's heads.
That one's good.
Yeah, it's a really good one. Man, 17 of 20. That's a really good one. That's a really good one.
Can we add
Another rebounding one. I already put my bet in, so I'm good.
Oh, he's too. All right, I got to ride with him.
Got to ride. We got to do it, man.
I can't change up on you at the last second. All right, I think that is the bet of the night. If you want a recap, it's Bones over 9.5 points, including 1-3. Jokic over 11.5 rebounds. Jokic 1 steal. Aaron Gordon over 13.5 points, and Nuggets to win the first quarter at +400. And yes, they have taken Bones Highland straight up points down off of. Maybe is he getting the start?
No chance.
Is that the scoop? All right. Well, tune in to.
I see this master saying though that Jokic's only averaging 19.9. Not true. He's averaging 25 and a half or something on like ridiculous efficiency. So
yeah,
you gotta check. He's not 10 points. He's 5. He's like 4 or 5 points behind. 4.5 points behind these guys on fewer shots. Like, come on.
And more rebounds and more assists.
Yeah, more rebounds, more assists. Make it 10% more from the field. Come on.
If you're gonna come in here, you gotta come correct.
You gotta come correct, man.
All right, that's gonna wrap it up for us here. Adam, thank you for joining us. This was great. Appreciate the insights. Tune in. Nuggets pregame show going live in 30 minutes. We'll see them then.